Well, thanks so much for tuning into this conversation. As much as it is an earnings conversation, it's also about what the future looks like for VA Tech Vabag. It was always a company making some very interesting news, and off late, because of the investments that few marquee investors have done, the stock too has come in focus. So let's talk about all of that with Mr. Rajneesh Chopra. He's Global Head of Business Development of VA Tech Vabag. He joins us right now on the show. Mr. Chopra, good having you. Thanks much for joining in. Can we talk a bit about the quarter? Of course, the profit numbers looked a lot um, inflated, if you will, because of that higher tax incidence in the last quarter. But would you say that it matched what you would have thought you would do because of the COVID-induced lockdowns?
Thank you, Neeraj. Thanks, first of all, for having me on the show. I think as far as first quarter is concerned, if you see, we have done something which is very close to what we had expected. Ideally, we should have at least been, closer to the last year quarter. We are just marginally lower compared to last year's first quarter. I think COVID has definitely impacted our revenues, especially in India. As far as India is concerned, there was a very, very severe lockdown which had an impact of almost 2.5 months in the first quarter. But the best part is, given our business model, our O&M was working at full stream. And thanks to all our COVID warriors, they ensured that, we run all the utilities at 100% capacity. Apart from that, being a EPC player, so our engineering and procurement, even when people were working from home, I think we were almost achieving 70 to 80% of the workload, which we would have done otherwise. Only the construction part in India that had slowed down. But if you look at the overseas, I think the lockdown impact was not that severe because some of our major projects, like in Marafiq in Saudi, we had Ashkal project in Qatar, all these, and even for that matter, our European subsidiaries, I think they contributed well, and the impact of, the COVID was much less in these particular places. Also, if you look at the numbers, I think our total cost of operations has reduced because the business operations, whether it is travel, whether it is, other expenses, which are operating expenses, they were lower. So that definitely helped us on the TCO part of it. And that's why you see this particular performance. Had this not been that severe an impact of COVID in India, probably if it was a partial lockdown or something, probably we would have been 15 to 20% higher.
So is that looking like turning around now that the lockdowns have eased? What's the experience in the current quarter from a business performance domestically first?
Right. So definitely, as far as India is, with every unlocking, I think it's picking up now. The construction activity is picking up. And going forward, we certainly hope that, we will be doing much better than what we did in the last quarter. And certainly we have a robust order book to execute. So I think all this will definitely have a positive impact unless there are any, untoward incidences, which are beyond the control, because still the COVID impact is, I would not say it's totally over. Once in a while in some site, we will have this impact. It can, affect a few days of activity, and then again, we are back on track. But I think by and large, the pace is picking up. Also, as you mentioned, we have some in the process of raising, some funding on preferential equity. That will definitely help us in further pacing up our execution, because all the funds which we are raising, it is only for our working capital, and which we term as our growth capital, which will help us execute our orders even at a brisk pace compared to the past.
Yeah, actually, that's the question, isn't it, Mr. Chopra? I mean, because of the reputation or otherwise, the order book has never been a problem for you. What has probably been an issue is that compared to what you probably yourself believed at the start of the year, at the end of the year, the overall execution wasn't as per what you would have guided to or otherwise, right? So my question is, what are the views on the current order book, and is there a change there? Because I think our analysis suggested that now there is a higher proportion of O&M contracts too, which are probably more margin accretive. Can you just talk a bit about that?
Sure. I think Definitely, Neeraj, as you said, you're absolutely right. There is, focus on O&M business, which is a service business. It is like an annuity business, which gives us a predictability, which is there every month. We know what is going to be my billing, what is going to be the revenue, and all these O&M contracts, they are, long-term contracts ranging from 5 years to 10 years.
Hmm.
And in last year, one of the major successes we had was one city, one operator. Now, this is something which is a paradigm shift as far as Indian market is concerned, and it opens, multi-billion-dollar opportunity in the service sector in water and wastewater within India. So
sorry,
that
can you describe why? Sorry, I missed that part. Why do you say that it's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity?
See, up till now, most of the O&M contracts, they were, for certain plants, right? So one plant, different tenders. But now, because of, the government's perspective has changed, they want to, improve both the sanitation and water services at a much faster pace than what it has been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And from government's viewpoint, they have bundled the entire city and given it, tendered it both for, water and wastewater, separately in certain cities. So it becomes a much larger contract. Like my one particular O&M contract earlier used to be, say, 2 crores, 3 crores for a plant. Today, just for, Agra and Ghaziabad put together, we have around 150 crores per annum. So 1,500 crore, close to 1,500 crore for 10 years. And from government's perspective, it is helping them save both the time for implementation and even it is optimization from the government. So it's a win-win situation, more accountability, more serviceability will be improved. And that's where, we find that it's changing. And there are other states now. UP is the first one which has done that. It started with Namami Gange, and now we are already in touch with certain states where they have called us to make presentation on a similar business model. And as Wabag, we certainly have that experience because in the past we have run the entire Istanbul city's wastewater management for a period of 3 years. So we already had an experience in this, and that's why I say it's opening a huge opportunity. Because with these two cities, our O&M revenue is likely to be doubled in this year. Similarly, 4 or 5 more cities open up over a period of next 12 to 24 months. I think that's the kind of impact which this O&M has. And as you rightly said, it is not a top line business for us, but definitely as far as bottom line is concerned, our margins are much better compared to our EPC business. So our focus is there on O&M, and we have our intention to take it to 25% of the total revenue. Currently, it is maybe this year it will be roughly around 15% first quarter because O&M was high, EPC was suffering because of this COVID. Maybe it's looking little on the higher side because if I look at this thing, my O&M revenue is definitely looking much higher, close to 23%. So that's where it is. But our endeavor will be that we take it to around 25% of the total revenue at a group level.
Got it. Okay, so would the Namami Gange orders largely be O&M in nature? And just wondering, our calculation suggested that in Namami Gange you had about 5,000 crores. But if I just do the math that you told me, the numbers move up to 1,500 crores only from Agra and Ghaziabad alone. So have those numbers or the quantum of orders under Namami Gange or otherwise, have they moved up from the last time that we analyzed?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have been successful in a couple of HAM projects. That is KMDA in Kolkata. Then we have Digha Kankarbat. So I don't see that it's only the O&M which is going to contribute maximum in Namami Gange. I think what is going to contribute, we have substantial EPC portion in Kanpur, in Bihar, in Kolkata. So the major contribution is going to come from EPC, but all these projects will have an O&M attached to it for 15 years. So which again, over the next 3 years will contribute a lot to the O&M portion. But the major value is going to come from EPC in these particular contracts.
And margins will come from O&M. But nothing under Namami Gange has been executed thus far, right? Or even if you've executed it, you've not booked it under revenues. Is that assessment correct?
No. If you see our top 10 contracts, we are doing one common effluent treatment plant that is in Kanpur. So it is amongst the top 10 projects in terms of our revenue for the first quarter.
Okay.
We have already initiated, in this quarter, the one of the DVO portion of a contract in which is under Namami Gange, which is in Bihar, and we hope that in coming quarter these two projects, Bihar and Kolkata, will further pick up pace in terms of execution. We are also executing a project in Delhi, in Rethala, which is again under Namami Gange. So it's not that we are not we are already executing a lot of projects.
Yeah, no. Sorry, what I meant was that until now, until quarter one, maybe you had the orders, but you've not started. So all that execution and therefore the revenue recognition will happen now. Is that fair?
See, as I said, Kanpur, Delhi, and our certain ongoing projects in Bihar, they are already contributing the revenue under Namami Gange. Some of the major contracts like Kolkata and Bihar, particularly Digha Kankar Bagh, going forward, they will start contributing a substantial chunk of our EPC revenue.
Got it. Okay. Since you mentioned the funding, which is growth capital for you, can I ask you if with the preferential that you've done to Rakesh, to Amit Goyal, etc., are all your funding requirements over, or would you need some more?
See, if you look at our board approval, we have a board approval for raising of 400 crores. This is the first tranche, and we are already at it. And as and when we need, we will definitely be raising up to 400 crores. Because obviously, you see our current order book at say 11,000 crores. We expect this to grow further, in the coming year, and probably we will need that capital to, pace up our, execution.
Got it. Okay. What about the cash flow situation, Mr. Chopra? I presume I was reading a couple of notes, and I think those notes quoted you saying that you as in the company, that the company believes that the cash flow situation will substantially improve FY21, FY22. Can you give us some flavor there?
Yeah, definitely. As far as if you see, even last year, we had a reduction in debt. We have been generating positive cash flows for sure. So that is there, and it has resulted in an impact in our interest cost, which is definitely contributing to our bottom line. And we expect that if we raise this funding further, it will have a positive impact on our total financing cost, especially the interest portion.
Got it. Any guidance, Mr. Chopra? Anything that you can tell us about how FY21 could shape up, as difficult a year as it is?
See, Neeraj, your question is very apt, and I think probably everybody is looking. I wish we could give a guidance as we have done it in the past. But given the current scenario, we are little refraining from giving guidance this year. But as I mentioned earlier also, that this quarter is something which we are very closer to what we did last year, and going forward, it is only going to improve. So I think with every quarter, with the corona impact reducing, that's a caveat. If the corona impact keeps on reducing with every quarter, I think all the 3 quarters, given our order backlog, and especially with the additional funding which has been raised, I think will definitely be improving. Also, our focus going forward is going to be, we are a pure play water technology company, and we will be focusing more on the technology orders. Like recently, we have got one order from Jeddah, which is around $48 million, around 360 crores. Now, this particular contract, it involves a very advanced technology called Nereda for a wastewater treatment, which will have definitely a much lesser footprint. And this is the first time this technology is being implemented in that particular region. So similarly, some of our upcoming orders, you will see the technology will play the key role in assessing what kind of orders we want to bid and win. So wherever there is a high technology component, that's where we are going to focus going forward.
Okay, can I ask you one final question then? Just trying to understand what VATech Vabag in a post-COVID scenario would look like. That you already have EPC contracts, which might be your bread and butter, but come at a lower margins. You have O&M, which is not necessarily a higher top line contributing pocket, but contributes to the margins and bottom line meaningfully. Where do these new technology orders kind of fit in? Are they a different subset, which are again a very high margin contributing because it involves such superior technology?
Yes, we definitely, even in our current EPC order book, we definitely have, orders with high technology. There are some orders which will be, more on the network part, which will have a lower technology component. I would not say no technology. But when we focus on these particular, high technology orders, especially in some of selected Indian industries and, overseas markets, it will definitely have a much better margin compared to a normal EPC order.
Okay. Fair call. Well, all I can say is I wish you all the very best, because I understand it's almost impossible to give any kind of guidance in the current circumstances. But maybe at the end of the year, end of the current calendar, we might be in a better position to assess how things might look like, because hopefully by then we could be near normalcy.
Sure, we are also hoping that, and we are pretty hopeful that going forward, this year should be a good year for us in spite of the corona impact.
Well, touch wood, and all the best for that, Mr. Chopra. Thanks so much for taking
the time. Thank you so much, Neeraj.